Hey guys, are you getting sick and tired of getting bad gas and gumming up your carburetors and your generator? Stick around with me. I'm going to show you how to convert this thing to propane very easily.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get to work.
So if you're like me, I'm off-grid. I got my off-grid cabin, and when I add up all the motors that I have out here, I probably have between chainsaws, generators, pumps, ATVs, compressors, you name it. Between all these different machines, I've got probably 10 or 15 different machines, and keeping everything running on gasoline is a definite full-time job and a chore to make sure that things are going to actually start when I go to use them again. So one thing I ended up doing, this is my generator that I use for my generator backup and for charging my solar system. This has been a excellent little generator because it's super quiet, doesn't bug my neighbors. And here's a little tidbit for you. If you don't think that your generator running is bothering your neighbors, you're wrong. Anyways, so I try to keep this thing as quiet as possible, but of course, having fuel in there and only having to run it maybe once a month or even less sometimes, you're worried about that fuel getting gummed up in there. So I wanted to convert it over to propane so I wouldn't have to worry about having to have those kind of issues. Looked into a few systems online. The system I did use, I will leave a link in the description here for you. It is one of the simplest systems to put in, and I was really surprised on actually how easy it is. So I'll go through the systems with you. I'll go through the components. And then also I've added a few new components that aren't part of the kit that comes with it in order to make this system a little bit more robust for the off-grid situation that I'm in. Let's just start with the components that we're dealing with here. Obviously, we already know what a propane tank is. This is just a normal regulator valve, same type that you would have for a barbecue in order to hook into your system. It just drops the pressure down. The main part that comes with the system that you're going to get in the kit is going to be this regulator valve. And what this regulator valve does is it has a very large diaphragm in it. And when the hose here detects vacuum from the motor turning over, it opens up that diaphragm inside. And that diaphragm then allows the fuel to come through and into the carburetor. So this snorkel, you can see it just runs in. I drilled a hole through the bottom of the housing here. It comes in. You want to secure this quite well into here. And then this just goes between the carburetor and the air filter. Simple as that. This is what it looks like. They call it a motor snorkel. So this just bolts onto the two holes for the carburetor. And then this little snorkel goes inside, and this is what shoots the propane into the carburetor. Now, if we back up along here, I've just got this temporarily on here now because I've been working on it. There's normally a hose clamp here, but this is your adjustment for how much fuel it's going to allow to go into the carburetor. So if it's feeling like it's getting too much fuel or running too lean or too rich, this is where you can do the adjustment. In the instructions, I think it says to go all the way in and then back it out 2 turns and then take your adjustment from there. And so from that, it's quite simple to kind of get it running. Once you get the thing fired up, you can just start adjusting this screw until you get a nice smooth running machine. So those are the main components. That's it. It's all you need for your main components for your conversion kit. And it will run most of the machines just like that, just the way it is. Difficulty is that a lot of times my generator will run automatically and run unattendedly. So I want to make sure that things run good all the time. Now, this system allows your generator to still run off of gasoline should you want it to. The choke system becomes a little more harder to work because the choke flutter valve is right in the way of that snorkel, but it does still work and you can still run off gasoline. I have drained all the gasoline out of this because I just don't want anything staying in there after years and getting all gummed up. But all the lines and everything are still there and can be hooked up at any time. So it's still there if I need it, but I generally don't use it. So some of the problems that I found right off the bat was as soon as I hooked up the propane to this, it started to backfire. And what's happening is just basically I had to do a valve adjustment because there wasn't enough sealing in it. And as soon as the propane started to flow, it would go past the valves and then it would backfire. So once I adjusted the valves, then it was fine. Next thing that started to happen was when the temperatures get down below 0 and the system gets cold and the valves get cold, the amount of vacuum that you can get to operate out of it immediately is not quite enough to get this lock-off valve to work properly. And so what I did was I installed an electric choke. So I got a hold of the company, they sent me this electric choke, and I'll go through that and see, I'll show you how it works. So right here, this is the electric choke. So there is an electric solenoid here that runs off 12 volt. And what it does is it's magnetic relay, our magnetic choke in there. As soon as the electromagnetic engages, it pulls the magnet and lets fuel go from the beginning side of the regulator. So the fuel is coming out the top here, but it allows it to come through the beginning part of the regulator up and give a burst of fuel into the system and essentially work like a choke. These two wires I connected straight to the starter wire. So the red goes to starter positive and the black goes to ground. Pretty simple to find those wires in there. And so as soon as you turn the key, the starter kicks in, opens up this valve, sends a shot of propane, and then chokes it. As soon as the starter stops, then this valve stops and it stops shooting the extra propane into it. So I found that once I put that electric choke on there, next to no problems. This machine would run and start at minus 25, even out here in the Canadian winters without too much of an issue. A couple of times it had to turn over, but with the exception of that, everything ran pretty well. Next problem that I ran into was after several winters, what happens, there is a bit of moisture in propane. And when the moisture gets onto the diaphragm inside the regulator here, it can cause that diaphragm to get a little bit harder and less flexible. And what ended up happening was I could smell a little bit of a leak coming from that regulator. I'm not sure where exactly it was coming from. Talked to the company. They agreed if they wanted to, they'd send me out another diaphragm kit. What also I decided to do was I wanted to make sure that I'm not going to lose any propane with this thing sitting there for months at a time. So I wanted to install a fuel lock-off valve. So here's the fuel lock-off valve. Again, this is an electromagnetic valve. So as soon as it's energized, pulls up the valve and allows propane to go through. So right now propane is all locked off when it's in its normally closed phase. So while there's no current in it, it will sit there all day long and not let any fuel through. So even if this thing is leaking, it's not going to get by here. But this is where the challenge came in. So my initial thought was I could simply hook the lock-off valve to the ignition, and when the ignition was turned on by the AGS, that it would energize the lock-off valve and it would carry on. And so when I had it on the workbench and I would turn the key, I had the one circuit on there that would allow the system to turn on and would power that lock-off valve no problem. Did all the wiring, thought it was going to work right. When I put it into my generator shed and back into the automatic generator start system, it wouldn't start. And the reason is because it doesn't actually turn the key and energize that post on the back of the ignition that I use to power the lock-off valve. So I had to find another solution. So then I thought I could run it off the DC port here, or I could run it off the starter like I do for the choke. Problem is that when you run off the starter, as soon as you disengage the starter and it's running, then the system is no longer going to send power to the lock off and it'll shut off. Secondly is I can't use the DC output that I use for the run signal for the generator because it takes about 3 to 5 seconds for it to start actually producing DC voltage in order to get that run signal going. So it can't activate the lock-off valve because it's not actually working until the machine's running. So you got a cart before the horse system. So it took a lot of trying to figure out the best way to do this. And the solution I came up with was what's called a delay-off relay. And this is what I've got hooked up here. Although this looks like a normal relay, it actually isn't. So what it does is when this relay is energized, even if you remove the power from it, it will continue to be energized for 10 seconds. And so what I did was I created it in series with the DC output port from the starter motor. So when I turn the key, it activates the delay off relay. The delay off relay sends power from the battery to the lock off, and it holds it there for 10 seconds. Within those 10 seconds, the DC out port on the generator will generate electricity, and it will then feed into the same circuit that goes down to the lock-off. I put a diode in between the relay and the DC voltage output so that I didn't send a false run signal to the generator AGS system as well. So by doing that, I've got 10 seconds from the time the unit starts to the time the DC voltage regulator kicks in and then keeps the lock-off valve unlocked. And then as soon as you turn off the power, it's running off the DC output port. As soon as that voltage shuts off, it shuts off the lock-off valve and no more fuel can get through. So to kind of summarize the whole starting ignition system is when either I turn the key or the AGS turns on the system, what's going to happen is immediately the choke valve is going to be engaged from the starter, and that is going to send propane through to choke it off. As it turns over, it's going to send power to the lock-off valve, allowing fuel to go through at the same time on a delay relay. That relay will stay open for 10 seconds. Once the whole generator starts, the DC port will begin producing electricity, and that will then funnel down and keep the lock-off valve open. I'll put a schematic of how I put that together up on the screen there. I don't have it ready for me right now, but I will put that together for you, and I'll put that on the screen, and I'll also put it available for download. All right, so that's about it for this generator, guys. It is pretty much tricked out as far as I can get it between the lock-off valve, the electric choke, the propane conversion, and the AGS all set up on there. That took me months to kind of figure out. I hope I've helped anyone who else is looking for that to try and get that working for you, because it is definitely a pain in the ass, but very rewarding to be able to actually get this thing working when you are out in your off-grid situation. You got this nice quiet generator that they're one of the most reliable generators you can have, these Honda 3000s. So highly recommend if you're looking at this. If you got any comments you think, or is this something you're going to do for you, or is something you would do differently in that, I definitely would like to hear about it. I'm always interested in other ideas for that. If you got any other comments, go ahead and leave them down below. Otherwise, like, subscribe, and do all those other things, and see you in the next one. Cheers.